Darcy here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this epic deck haul. So this actually came about because after my Say Yes to the Deck episode number 2, which I will link up in the cards. One of my subscribers actually reached out to me on Instagram, and it turned out she had several of the decks that were runners up in my Say Yes to the Deck episode, and she offered to send them to me. So thank you very much to her. You know who you are. Thank you so much. But I wanted to share them with you guys. I'm gonna go through and walk through 3 of the decks in this video, show you every single card. They're gonna be quicker flip throughs, but I want to show you those 3 decks, and then 2 of the decks I want to do standalone walkthroughs for, so I will be doing those separately so that we can dive a little bit deeper. But I'm so excited to show you guys what was sent to me. So 3 of these were from Say Yes to the Deck, and then the other 2 were extras that she threw in and surprised me with, so that was super exciting. The first one that I want to show you guys that was in the Say Yes to the Deck is the Illusori Tarot. So she sent this copy to me. This is one that I definitely want to do a full and detailed walkthrough on. It's interesting to me that there's literally no name anywhere on the box, but I recognized it right away, and I don't think there's a little white book of any kind either. So it looks like it's just the cards. They are in order, and just to give you an idea of the artwork, I'm really excited to do the walkthrough on this deck, by the way. But I'm gonna save most of these for later because I want to spend a little more time diving into every single card. So that is the backings, and this is the Illusori Tarot. This is still available on Etsy. I will try to remember to have a link to it down below for you guys. So that is the Illusori Tarot. The other deck that she sent me is Beth Salinen's Tarot de Marseille de Witches. So we are going to flip through this one in, because it'll be a Marseille deck. It'll be fairly quick. I'll zoom us in just a moment. So it says, based upon the early Marseille traditions, artist Beth Salinen adds her own personality into this deck. She enables the reader to work towards reading the body language held within each card by letting go of the facial features and adding minor details to the pips. Enjoy the tales and adventures the Tarot de Marseille de Witches have to share. So this is actually deck number 21 of 100. This one is also still available on Beth's Etsy shop. I don't know what to say about the cardstock. There's something about it that I can't quite put my finger on that I'm not sure I really, there we go. I'm not sure that I really love. It's kind of thick, and they feel sort of hand laminated. I don't know actually how they're laminated. They just got a different feel to any other cards I've handled. And you know how when you laminate cards, they don't want to they kind of spring apart a little bit. They've got that sort of squishy feel to them. I don't know how else to describe it. They feel like they'll last perfectly fine, but they are pretty glossy. This is what the backings look like. I will say this cardstock does feel, and I have no idea if this is what it will do or not, so this is just based on feel. It feels like the lamination on these could potentially peel, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, I'm going to zoom us in and we're going to do a pretty quick flip through of these. Make sure we're in focus. So there we go. So as a Marseille deck, this one's characterized by the fact that there are no faces on the figures, and the figures all have these pointy hats. It's actually really cute. I wish it didn't have the double border, and I will say with this laminated feel, I'm not confident that I could trim them and not have the lamination peel or separate, so I wouldn't want to trim this deck. I think as it is though, it's really quite cute. The lovers. It seems very traditional to Marseille. I love that here there's 2 cats instead of horses or sphinxes. Justice, our Hermit, the Wheel, Strength. You still get an idea of directionality and where they're looking, but now that I've been working with Marseille a bit, I will say I kind of miss the being able to see where the eyes are looking, because that does actually play into the directionality a bit. That you can still tell through their body language, as Beth says, where they're pointing and that kind of thing. I think it's really clever what she's done here, and I think it's really unique. I like that it brings that sort of witchy vibe. It is pretty fun. I have not decided yet if this one will be staying with me or not, but I think I'm gonna play with it before I decide. I do love the colors. I love the purples. We have our swords. Ooh, oops, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I also feel like the backings here, it's like they needed to be, it's like they weren't, the artwork wasn't, it doesn't take up the full space on the back of the card, which is a little bit disruptive, I think, to the look of the backs. There's our quartz, our knight, queen, king, wands. I like this little figure down here, that's cute. Oh, these are like beefy wands, they're pretty thick. And I like that you still have these characters down here. This is interesting, actually. There's a little nod to the Rider-Waite-Smith. This person's looking out over the landscape. I hadn't noticed that before. And this person's kind of looking at a ship. These two kind of hovering around the 4. It looks like she's sort of sitting on the moon and possibly sweeping the top of those wands. 6, 7, 8. We have one solitary, I guess, kind of wand or something flying here. She's flying on a broom up there. 9. There's tiny little nods to the Rider-Waite-Smith for sure. 10. And then we have our page, knight, queen, and king. And now we're into the cups. The ace, 2. These have less figures on them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Page, knight, queen, king, ace, pentacles or coins, 2, 3. It's hard to see the deniers down here, but it is there. It's in a green on blue background, so it's not quite a high contrast there. 5, 6, 7. Like all their little faces on there. 8. Kind of got a Brady Bunch look almost. 9. Oops. 10. Page. Knight. Queen and king. Let's see how these shuffle, because that's something I haven't tried yet. So let's zoom us out a bit here. Whoop. Back out. So hand over hand. Oh, we have a flipper. They seem to go okay hand over hand. They do catch a little bit on each other, and I think that's just this weird kind of squishy thickness. You see how like when I like let it go, they kind of like want to fall apart. They kind of press apart from each other. That's what makes them feel almost like they've been printed and then laminated. And they're not perfectly even. They don't have that kind of machine cut smoothness that helps them to rifle and bridge well. This definitely has a bit of a homemade feel, and there's nothing wrong with that. I can be a bit of an aesthetics nerd for sure. There's certain things like cardstock and stuff. I don't like the way these feel to shuffle. I would probably only be comfortable shuffling them hand over hand. Let's see what they look like a few laid out in the spread here. Oop. There's the Hanged Man, the 2 of coins, the Ace of coins. Let's do a few more. I like to read Marseille in lines. There's our Strength card. Oh, I shuffled the title card in, my bad. It definitely works in a layout. It's very clear and easy to see. I think when I saw how like this was like a smaller size, and just for reference, the Illusori Tarot is definitely like a standard tarot size. You can see size-wise they are a bit smaller, like pretty noticeably smaller. I kind of expected them to feel more compact, but they actually feel quite chunky. So for comparison, let me just pick these up, and you can even see just by the box thickness. There's our title card. I'm just going to pop that on there. And there is, I know I'm distracted, but there's like a little staple bound booklet inside with some keywords. So I'm just going to do that like that. I'll show you the box difference between this and the Illusori, and you'll see what I mean about how kind of chunky this deck is. There we go. Oh, come on. I hate tuck boxes. Sometimes you can get the cards back in, and then sometimes you're just kind of fighting with them. So I'm going to stick these. Oh my gosh. That would drive me batty. Okay. These would have to go in a bag if they end up staying with me. So, just for comparison's sake, this is a very standard feeling cardstock. You could see like it's almost like twice as thick. And the box doesn't want to stay closed. Me and this box are not getting along. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you can see it's like twice as thick. So it's quite a beefy little guy. But that is the Tarot Marseille de Witches. The other deck that was on my Say Yes to the deck that she very generously sent me, excuse me, was the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. This was still sealed. I could not believe it. She was so generous. I was super stoked. And when I got this out of the box, I noticed that the cards weren't in order, so I did put them all in order so that I could do a full walkthrough. There's instructions on how to get a book here, and then a Dame Darcy card. And this is what the artwork looks like. This deck is gilded. This is another one that I'm going to do a full walkthrough on because I really want to spend some more quality time with it. But I have to say I'm pretty enchanted with it, and I could not be more thrilled that this is now in my possession. I cannot wait to do my full walkthrough. I'm really excited about this, and I definitely had decided against it in my Say Yes to the deck. I don't know if I would have revisited it without this person reaching out to me, and I could not be more thrilled. So I'm going to be doing a full walkthrough on this one so that I can dive a little deeper. And then the two surprise decks she sent me. So the first one, I looked this up. This actually came out, looks like on Kickstarter in December of last year. And this is called the Reverie Tarot. It comes in a 2-part box. I believe you can still get your hands on it. That is what the backings look like. And that is what the gilding looks like. We're going to do, again, just a quick flip through because this one has a very simple art style. It does also come with a pretty extensive hardbound little book. I shouldn't say little book, it's like a full-size book. But I believe this deck, its intent is that it merges numerology with Rider-Waite-Smith. So let's dive into a little zoom, and I'll do just a quick flip through. Magician. It's really cool how the numbers are like at the forefront and the pictures just come through. There's a lot of white space in this deck, but it's got a very illustrative quality. I wonder if I could do this a different way. Let's try it this way. Let's zoom out just a bit, just so that it's less slidey for me. Wheel of Fortune. Justice, Hanged Man. These have a nice like satin finish, like classic tarot finish on them. Not glossy or super matte. Right in between. It definitely brings the numbers to the forefront when you're looking at these. You're thinking about the number more than I think I do in any other tarot deck. And the World. Now we're into the wand suit, and the wands, all the pictures are in the space of the shape of this like rectangle to represent the wand, which is a really cool take on the cards. Now we're into the cups. And now we have cups where our scenes show. The only other deck I've seen do something a little bit like this is, I forget the name of it now, shoot. Gregory White, I believe is the name of the artist, and he did an oracle, no, he did a tarot deck that was animal-based, nature-based. Beautiful paintings, and he has a style like where there's a shape, like a shape of an animal or a shape of a water droplet, or the alchemical symbol for fire or whatever, and then the scene is in that shape, which is really kind of a cool approach. And now we're into the swords. All the classics. Definitely Rider-Waite-Smith imagery here. And finally our pentacles. And these are a little bit, they have a little more space for the scene, so I like that they have a bigger shape. I will say that I wish the artwork just had more real estate on the cards. Even with the fact that it is cool that it goes into these shapes, I do just wish it was a little easier to see the scenes, because these pentacles give you so much more than the other suits do, just because they have more space. And King. These have a really nice feeling cardstock, just a really classic, flexible, usable cardstock. Let me zoom this out. Oops, wrong direction. They feel really nice. They've got a silver gilding. It is the kind of silver gilding. It doesn't feel like it would shed glitter, but it isn't that sort of super mirror finish style. So that is the cards. And let's just take a quick look at the book. I'm curious. Oh yeah, there are some spreads. Fuses numerology and symbology with classic psychedelic pop art. Oh, that's the art style. So there's a Reverie spread, a 2-card spread, something in the stars spread, the houses for astrology, new beginnings, and then we get right into the tarot meanings, and you get about, you know, a chunky paragraph for each card. Is there anything in the end here? Oh, interesting. There is a keyword index in the back, so you can actually look up a keyword and it'll tell you which card that keyword is for. That's interesting. Oh, I see. And then for each card you also have keywords as well. Sorry, I don't know how visible that was because I'm not as zoomed in as I normally am. I love this. It's really nice quality guidebook. So that is the Reverie Tarot. Excuse me, I still like this dry tickle. It's terrible. And the last deck, this is another one that she surprised me with, is the Inspirational Tarot by Rachel Farabaugh. And I believe this was also a recent Kickstarter. These are all currently available as far as I can tell. And this one came with this really pretty like spiral bound guidebook. So we'll take a look at that in a second. And I also would like to do a quick flip through of these. These are really, really beautiful. These I'm pretty excited about. It is a pip deck, so keep that in mind. There is this like sort of insert with basic meanings, but it looks like she did get the full guidebook and sent it along to me, which is amazing. There's some title cards. The backs are absolutely stunning. This is a chunkier deck, so the cardstock is really nice. It's probably like a 350 GSM, possibly 330. But that mirror finish, I don't know why, but I really like it on these. I had a deck that had some gold like this, and I didn't like it as much, but this is really pretty. So again, deck is in order, so I'm gonna zoom us in. It's got a very simple art style with black backgrounds that I actually really like. And it's funny because I don't seem to respond as well to white space, but this black space I seem to really like. So we have our Fool. And again, I'm just gonna flip through these pretty quickly. I love that High Priestess. Love this Lovers. And of course that's what's on the cover of the tuck box as well. I really love the tones of this deck. I love the sort of simplicity and the way I kind of hone in on the image. And it's so funny because that's what people will say about decks with lots of white space. Even like this Reverie Tarot. Lots and lots of white space, and for some reason there's something about it being black in the background that I just respond so much better to. Love the yin yang injustice. That's so gorgeous. Hanged Man. Love this death card. I really like this deck. Temperance. The colors are simple. I love this Devil. Tower. I feel like it's a very clean deck to read with. It feels like this would be it would be so delightfully neutral. I love the celestial bodies in this. Look at this. Look at the star, sun, and moon. I mean, they're just gorgeous. So this is one I'm super excited to have and to play with. And I'm probably going to be working with this one somewhat soon because I'm working with Pip and Marseille decks right now. And I think I'd like to work with this one. What's neat about the pips, though, as we get into them, you'll see there's little nods to either Marseille or Rider-Waite-Smith, just in the way that the pips are depicted. Like here we have the 3, and we have it sort of as part of a tree, and 3s are definitely a card about growth. 4s are structure, and you get that stability to that shape. The 5 and the coins kind of falling down gives you a nod to Rider-Waite-Smith. The 6 and balance here with the black and the white. Like there's a lot of thought here, even though it's pippish with a system. You can really tell. The 8 of Pentacles with that sort of progress and forward momentum and that sort of arrow shape. The 9 and the 10. And this still looks like we have that Kabbalah shape. The quartz, I haven't spent a lot of time looking at yet. There's something about the colors that I really dig about this deck. Here we have our wands, and they seem like power wands, like the kind of, like a magical wand, like a crystal built into it. I really love the colors. The 3, the 4, we get that conflict in the 5. Yeah, so this feels like a Rider-Waite-Smith pip deck, a little bit like maybe what you might expect from the Pagan Otherworlds. Although, a completely different art style, but the same, I feel like there's like a nod. There's enough of a nod to Rider-Waite-Smith that this feels like a Rider-Waite-Smith based pip deck. And then I say that, and then here's this, which is interesting because this feels more numerological to me, because instead of it feeling like the fast-moving Rider-Waite-Smith, like wands shooting through the air, we have almost double stability here with like these boxes. You get the idea of order and function. The 9 and the 10, you definitely get a feeling like these could be the wands poking out the top of a bag. And our quartz, Knight, Queen. Quartz are a little bit young. Ace of Cups, the 2, the 3, 4. Still again here, there's 3 under and 1 up. Reminds you of that 4th offered cup. 5 of Cups, 1 spilled, still gives you that nod. The 6 of Cups, lots of harmony there. The 7, they're all different, so we get that Rider-Waite-Smith nod. The 8 of Cups. The 9. The 9 is our wish fulfilled card. I don't know that I see that here, but that's okay. The 10. Page. Knight. Queen. King. And now we're into swords. Oh. The Ace. The 2, we get that nod to the Rider-Waite-Smith again. The 4, okay. 5, we get that idea of conflict for sure. 6, moving on. The 7, again we have order in the 8. The 9, this almost looks 10-like to me. And then the 10, such a mess. The Page. The Knight, the Queen, and the King. So I'm going to zoom us out and give these a shuffle, and we're also going to take a quick look at the guidebook. This is one I am definitely excited to play with. I think it's really, really beautiful. Ooh, the cardstock, it feels thick, but it's very flexible and usable. Sometimes those thick decks are really stiff. It is a little bit bigger than standard, so just for comparison, I'm not going to take them out of the box, but just so you can see. Well, okay, I guess I have to here. I was trying to be lazy. It didn't work. Okay, here we go. Look at that. So it's a little bit taller and a little bit wider. I really like the way these feel, and I love the way they look. Oh, my candle is done with me. It's like, nope, you're done. All done. And I think like in a spread, you get that directional element with the court cards because they're definitely either looking forward or to the side. I think this looks really stunning in a spread as well. I really like this deck. And you know, when she said, oh, I threw in an extra pip deck, I was like, I don't know, man. Pips and me are kind of hit or miss, but this one is really cool. And I'm super, super excited that she sent this my way. So let's take a quick look at the guidebook. So it's a spiral bound, which is really nice, makes it super handy. And let's see, we have an introduction, history of tarot, understanding, getting started, setting the scene, spreading the cards, reading the cards, reversals, majors, minors, suits, about Rachel, and about the tarot. I'm interested in any spreads. Oh. Okay, so there's no included layouts. And this person doesn't worry about reversals. when we get into the meanings, you have a sketch of the, I should have changed my camera angle, sorry about that guys. You have a sketch of the card, and then you have a description, talks about what he represents, and then a message. You can accomplish anything created from heart and mind. Let's flip to a random one. Death. Let go and allow these transformations to occur. The World. You are now ready to ascend to the next level of spiritual evolution. Eight of Swords. Only you have the power to release yourself from restrictions. And there's also a keyword. Queen of Wands. You are capable of manifesting anything you desire. And Three of Pentacles, you're achieving self-mastery and gaining remarkable skills. I like this. I kind of wish we still had the sketches in the minors because I think that's a really cool element. Like there's what the Three of Cups looks like. We get the sketches through, or the line drawings in the majors, but then you lose them in the minors. There is, though, it looks like an introduction to each suit, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm really actually very excited to play with that one. So, my friends, this is the epic haul. We have 5 new decks added to my collection. A couple may go on to find new homes. I have a feeling that the Tarot de Marseille de Witches and the Reverie Tarot may not ultimately be for me. I am so stoked about these 3 though. I'll be doing full-length walkthroughs on the Illusori Tarot, a deep dive, and a deep dive into the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot just as soon as I can. So keep your eyes peeled for those. And thank you again so much to Barbara for sending me these. I genuinely am so excited to play. And this was just a really sneaky surprise that I'm so stoked about. And Reverie I'm going to spend a little time with and decide. But I am just over the moon about your generosity. Thank you so much. And to everybody watching, remember to like this video. Click subscribe if you are new here. That is down just in this little corner right here. And remember to share if you want to share this in a group or with friends that you think might enjoy this content. Remember, you can always book a reading with me over at supportivetarot.com. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!